Good morning, everyone. I am Melanie Youngsma of the Lansing Journal, here with Josh Bootsma, our managing editor.
Good morning, everybody.
And we have had a lot of big stories in the past week.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on our website, at the top of the website lists the most read stories of the week, and we've had a lot of really big stories happening this week.
Yeah.
And that's great. We like providing that kind of news. But what happens sometimes when there's a big story is smaller stories might get overlooked.
Sure. Right.
So Josh and I just wanted to spend this week's video highlighting some stories you might have overlooked during the past week.
Yes.
So let's start with the diversity scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was at the village board meeting on Tuesday, and I talked to Chief Al, and he's excited about this scholarship.
Yeah.
And you wrote a story about it.
Yes, we'll link to that story below, that posted this week. I talked to Chief Al a few weeks ago about it, and he was one of many things that we talked about, and he was very excited about it. This is something that I remember the very night that he was appointed as police chief. I got a few minutes with him after that meeting, and that's one of the things that he mentioned to me then that he was excited about. So 10 months to the day since his appointment, the window will close for applications for the first ever Lansing Police Diversity Scholarship. Scholarship for a TF South senior going to further education. A scholarship between $500 to $1,000, and it could be for more than one student as well. They're still, finalizing the details there for a student of color who is interested in pursuing law enforcement. So a good thing that the chief is doing, and it's part of his larger efforts, and he recognizes the importance of diversity on the police force.
And we want to highlight that because the application deadline is April 15, right?
That's right, April 15.
Don't wait till the last minute. If you know somebody who might be interested in a career in law enforcement, in pursuing law enforcement type education, make sure you forward this story to that person so that they can get their application in on time.
That's right. And it's not a guarantee, right? The chief understands that just awarding someone with a scholarship doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come back later and join the department. But that is kind of a best case scenario. Yeah, when I talked to him about it, I said, how cool would it be if, a handful of years from now you had someone coming before the board and saying it's because of this scholarship that I wanted to be a police officer for Lansing. And when I said that, the chief said, oh, you just gave me goosebumps. So he's in for that goal. And cool thing that's starting this year.
Yeah. Another thing that happened this week was sort of a sad occasion at TF South. There was a special memorial service that you attended.
That's right. I attended a memorial dedication service for Lori Pataki, who was a TF South teacher and coach. She taught special ed and PE, and she coached softball and swimming. A very active person in the TF South community. Those who were there that I got the pleasure of talking to, I talked to Principal Gorley. Athletic Director Mark Brew made some comments as well. I was able to speak to some of Ms. Pataki's former students and her family. Very involved in the TF South community, and a very loving person by the sound of it. Very service-oriented. She loves softball, and so the natural place for her memorial is at the softball field. If you visit the TF South softball field, just below the scoreboard in left field, you'll see a nice little sign memorializing Ms. Pataki. That was good. It's something, she passed away in December of 2020. So a time...
the world was shut down.
That's right. Not really a time for people to get together. So I spoke to her brother, and he said that this was kind of the closure that the larger community never really had at the time. So very cool. I did not know Lori, but very cool to just be a part of that ceremony and to talk to the people who knew her well.
Yeah, and it would be a shame for a story like that to get lost in amongst all of the other big stories that we've had this week. So I'm glad that you were there and published that story, and I'm glad that we have a chance now to bring some more attention to it.
Absolutely. Those are some of the stories that may have gotten lost this week. One thing that happens every day that might get overlooked, Melanie, is the weather.
Yes. And I suppose it's understandable that people don't read my weather post every day.
Making it personal, even.
To be honest, the weather posts are among the least viewed articles that we publish. But I'll tell you, and that is understandable. You know,
Yes.
people have
Right.
their own weather apps, and you don't need to read the newspaper to figure out what the weather is.
Right.
But we started that as an experiment. We started it in February, and so we've been doing it for a couple of months now. And I really enjoy it.
Why is that? You like seeing the little storm clouds and stuff?
Well, you know, I walk around Lansing quite a bit.
Yeah.
I have a dog, and we take a lot of walks, and I like having a purpose when I walk.
Sure.
So knowing that I have to have a weather post every day that will require a photo
Mm-hmm.
means that my eyes are peeled for
Yeah.
something to take a photo of. Because I like the photo to be a recent photo. I like it to make sense, to, you know, be relevant to whatever weather is going to be happening the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying sort of cataloging Lansing scenery. And I would like to just make a personal pitch to people. Even if you don't need to know what the weather is every morning, just click on that link and look at the photo. It's Scenery of Lansing. All the photos are from Lansing. They might be things that you haven't noticed when you're out and about in town. Some of the photos are provided by other people.
Yeah.
And you are invited to send us your own weather photos. As much as I walk around Lansing, I can't get everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice to have more photos. Connie Simon has sent us some random photos that are cute. She sent us the one about the turkeys crossing the railroad track. Strange, but fun.
Yeah, cool.
Jen Polly also submitted a photo, and there were a couple of others in February of the snow and kids out in the snow. So please send us your photos. Join us in cataloging the beautiful scenery in Lansing.
Yeah.
And I encourage you readers to go ahead and click that weather link every day and see what the daily photo is.
If for nothing else, just for the photo. Yeah. So thank you for those of you who have read the weather, who've read all of our stories this week. We didn't really know at the beginning of this week what the news was going to look like, and that's how a lot of weeks are. It ends up being a busy week with a lot of news of all kinds, and it's all important, right?
Yeah.
Like you said. So this next week, we're committed to doing the same thing, and we've got a different video for you next week, but we'll keep that for a surprise.
Stay tuned.
That's right. So we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.